Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 2, Leicester City 1, or as I should say, the other way around, Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2. And of course, we had to make things difficult at the end. I hope the connection is fine. I'm plugged into the Ethernet, but the connection here on StreamYard still says poor connection, so I don't know what's going on. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm very, very excited that the Premier League is back. I'm very excited that Chelsea's back. Bloody international breaks, finally over and done with that one. And no more international breaks until March of next year. I am buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And I'm even happier because Chelsea got a win. Now, you will see negativity like by Kachivi, so I'm going to try to pronounce his name. He says, Chelsea been so complacent against a shockingly poor Leicester with no shots on target. They nearly gave up a comfortable 3 points right at the end, out of nowhere. And on the one hand, I agree. On the one hand, you're right. On the other hand, when I look at our record, usually after international breaks, well, then I'm not going to be too upset because we bottle it so often after international breaks. Let me just quickly scroll down if I can find this. I think it was CFC Daily that tweeted this. So let me just quickly see if he posted this, if I can find our record before after international breaks. Let me just find the bloody hell. My guy's posting way too many stats. See, this is what happens when I see random things and then I try to talk about them and then they all of a sudden don't turn up anymore. So I can't find it now. But hey, here we are. My apologies, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, welcome. I appreciate you. Be sure to be active in the chat. Talk to me. I'm going to be here chatting to you guys. I decided, no, let me not bring somebody on and actually focus on the chat, have a conversation with you, dissect the game from top to bottom. But at the end of the day, hey, we got another dub. We're now 1 point behind City. Obviously, City are yet to play. But even still, 1 point behind City. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take a dub. And like Joe says, at least we won. And that is, let's be real, the most important thing out of all of them. But yeah, I mean, what did everybody make of the? What did everybody make of the? What is happening? What did everybody make of the lineup? I guess I'll bring it up here. How is it shown up here? Okay, here they're showing it as a 4-1-4-1, which I guess you can if you want to do it like that. FOB Mobile claiming it's a 4-1-4-1. I personally probably wouldn't have quite seen it as a 4-1-4-1 if I'm being honest. I, especially in possession, saw it as more of a this one, but more of a this one that often had Enzo push up here and then Palmer drop down here and stuff. So there was a lot of interchanging going on. There was a lot of fluidity going on. And obviously because we played a significantly lesser side than ourselves, played very deep for a lot of the game, in particular in the first half. Yeah, I mean, you can make a few debates. Sometimes it was also like, sometimes it was João Felix down here. Sometimes also Palmer came over here. You know, it was, yeah, like I said, it was a bit up in the air. Sometimes maybe it was also Cucurella down here and then João Felix came wide. You know what I mean? It was very fluid, very much a mix, but that's at least how I saw it. Obviously, if anybody disagrees and anybody says, this is actually how I think it was, please hit me and let me know what you did think. Let me actually get up the average positionings up, and then we can talk about whether we were happy with the players that did play or not. So let me just share the next screen with you guys. By Sofa Score. You can see the average positions, obviously Noni very high up here. And yeah, I mean, the fact that it was only Caicedo was kind of the pivot, you can, I guess, kind of see it. And maybe there was a 3 in front of that. This is interesting. This is interesting. I can't even lie. This is interesting. Obviously, this is always a mix of in possession and out of possession. Therefore, Cucurella will not show up like fully high up like he was in possession because defensively, of course, drops deep again. But yeah, very interesting. I mean, I guess you can call it a... I don't even know what you'd call this formation, man. Like a 3-1-5-1, maybe? Maybe that's the closest thing to it. I guess it's up for debate. It's up for debate. Let me just get to a couple of your guys' messages in the chat before we dissect and look more at what we saw, I suppose. Let's see. I still think Noni is a liability. On the one hand, I kind of agree. On the other hand, with Pedro Neto today not being available, what else are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's part of the game. Why does it even feel like my camera is kind of like poor quality? Why is that the case? Shouldn't be the case. shouldn't be the case. Why is it? I don't know. I do apologize for why that is the case. It doesn't look like that here. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening. My apologies. Felix played well. I agree. Jackson is now a reliable striker. And I also agree, Freddie. And I would go as far as saying Nicolas Jackson is the top 3 Premier League striker. You can arguably make a debate for, that he's not second. But I think he's at least top 3. At least top 3. We'll get into that conversation a little bit more in a minute. Joel says, Felix, Enzo, Wesley, apart from the penalty incident, Benoit, Moises, Cucurella, great, others average. I'm not so sure whether I necessarily agree that Fofana was particularly... I don't think it was bad. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. The logo says, Noni's just okay Premier League winger, can't cross on his right foot, plays with his head down, bringing Esteval. Well, yeah. Mudryk, mate. I mean... Yeah, that is valid. That is valid to bring up Mudryk when I say what else could you have done. But would you have wanted to see Mudryk play on the left? Mudryk to play on the right? Because I wouldn't. Because obviously Reece James, I mean, let's talk about that. I haven't had time to speak about this on my channel. Reece James is injured again. Reece James has an hamstring injury. He supposedly will have a scan on Monday or at some point next week to know the severity of it. Maresca made it sound like it's not particularly major at all. But then Reece's message on Instagram didn't sound like it was like he's going to be out for a week. So, yeah, Reece James. And now Malo Gusto all of a sudden today turned up to be ill. So we didn't have Malo Gusto available either, so no right backs. And therefore, you couldn't really just... Yeah, that's a problem. Because Felix didn't out and out play left wing today, did he? Like in most areas, and most of the time when we had possession, João Felix was essentially the left attacking midfielder, and Cucurella played the left winger. And because we didn't have a right back, you couldn't have done that same thing. Like you would have had to play someone else somewhere. And because you're not going to want Misha on the right, or Felix as a right winger, or Cucurella as a right winger. That was kind of your only option today. But yeah, it was frustrating for sure. What a finish by Nicolas Jackson. What a goal. What a goal. Now, is it the prettiest goal of all time? No, but the work rate, the tenacity, the grit within that to like keep pushing fires off, to keep fighting fires for the ball, to keep stopping fires from clearing it. Obviously, in the end, Enzo Fernandez gets the header back to Jackson, flicks it over the foot of the defender. The outside of the boot finish, it was outrageous. I'm shocked indeed he didn't get a red card. I mean, boys, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for just a second. Let me bring up my own tweet about it because I just cannot fathom what I saw. Did I only tweet the GIF? Okay, I only tweeted the GIF. I should probably try to find anything that wasn't a GIF. So I'll try to find it and I'll show it to you in a minute. Because if I show the GIF, Premier League might get me copyrighted, and we don't want that, do we? So I'm gonna just scroll back to a good screenshot of. I mean, yeah, there was a bad one going around. Let's use that one. Why not? I'm sure there's better ones, but yeah. Let's just make it quite clear, shall we? Ndidi did not get sent off for this. Like, how much more do you want to step on an ankle, on an Achilles? And this screenshot makes it look less bad than the screenshot half a frame before it. Now, I did tweet about it, but I only tweeted the GIF of it. And if I show the GIF as its moving image, Premier League might copyright me. That's why I'm showing the still frame of it, Joel. But yeah, the frame a second before this even looks worse because that actually shows the contact even higher up. Cole Palmer's calf. Never seen anything so disgraceful. There was also a open studs high foot tackle on João Felix that the ref also didn't give, which I also found very disappointing, if I'm being perfectly honest. I was like, I mean, I'm not saying that's a straight red, but it should be at least debated, and it didn't feel like it was at all. But you could argue that Leicester shouldn't only have had one penalty, but maybe one already earlier against Wesley Fofana. So I guess it came round. But yeah, it's silly. Surely Felix could go right. Misha left. We already discussed that. The logo says, need to sort the Sachimpong situation out now. If this kid can't see a path to minutes with the injury-prone guys in front of him, I don't know. This is an interesting topic, isn't it? So just to elaborate on it quickly. So Josh Achampong, academy right back / centre back, who signed his first professional contract at the beginning of this year. The first professional contract you sign in England is not allowed to be longer than 2 years. So he signed a 2-year contract this year. Now, in the summer, he was involved in preseason. He was, got a little bit of game time, a little bit of minutes early in the season. I can't remember, was it against Barrow? Did he maybe get a couple of minutes there, or was it in a conference league? I can't remember. But a few weeks ago, then we all of a sudden didn't see him anymore, and everybody was like, "What's happening? Is he injured? Is what?" And then we got the news that the reason he's not being involved in anything, not training with the first team, not playing for the first team, is because of a move by the club, because he was offered a longer-term deal than that first professional contract that he signed. And hasn't signed it yet. Now, Chelsea supposedly think and thought everything was ready to sign, and Achimpong now hasn't signed it. We don't know the details of the situation. But all I will say is, when you have two very unreliable right-backs, one of them never being available, the other one being very crucial, and also quite often being unavailable, should you not use your academy right-back, even having him in the squad? Should that happen on a regular occasion? I would say no. Is there a case to be made? The club want to tie you down, and only once you commit to the club will you get the minutes and the chance to really prove yourself and improve. There is a case to be made for that. But because he already signed the contract in the beginning of this year, and now all they're trying to do is tie him down on a 7-year contract, presumably, on very low wages, because he's now not even had the chance to prove himself, I think that's a bit of a dick move, if I'm being honest. Like, he signed a new deal. Now give him the chance and let's see if he can earn himself a better contract than what you are wanting to force him into signing now. Because we can't forget what happened in the last 2 years. Trevor Chalobah signed a 7-year contract and was forced out and exiled a year later. Do you then, as a youth player at 18 years old, do you then want to sign a 7-year contract? I don't know. But I 100% agree it needs to be sorted out. But yeah, what else can you say other than that the referee's a disgrace for not giving that as a red card? Like, what is this? If I scroll to the top again, I shouldn't have gone all the way to the top. I want to highlight this one again so we can discuss things further to see from what you guys have said in the chat. Nico slowly winning me over. I'm glad to hear it. This match was like babysitting a 4-year-old niece, handing me a crayon drawing of a bear that looked like a light bulb, but expected it to be on the fridge door. I mean, yeah, maybe. Fair enough. You tweeted about it. I tweeted you about it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, there you go. You can see he wasn't trying to get the ball. No, he wasn't trying to get the ball at all. I have a sneaky feeling Jackson is injured. He overreacted for that ball on the break. He overreacted for that ball on the... I'm not sure. Can you please elaborate what you mean, the Chelsea artist? When is he supposed to have got injured? What break are you talking about? What overreaction to what ball? I'm a little bit confused. If that's the other way our player gets sent off, yeah, no, 100%. I.e., Chelsea played crap but demand a round of applause. Yeah, I mean, I understand this, but I don't understand what the purpose of being this kind of fan is, if I'm being honest, bro. Because I'm like, what are you thinking of gaining from it being like that? And I forgot that Lewis is also using this. So let me quickly change the profile picture. Like, not every Premier League game is going to be easy. And we've had so many of these kind of games on these kind of first game after international breaks, especially early kickoffs, that we bottle so hard and get silly 1-1 draws or silly 2-1 losses, 1-0 losses. And this time we actually got it. You know what I mean? I don't think this kind of game would have been right for Josh anyway. Maybe not to start, but I think he should be on the bench because, well, he should be. Is he any good? I think he's good, but I'm also going off a perspective of there's people that I trust when it comes to judging the academy players. I don't have time or, really the effort all the time to watch the youth teams regularly. But people that do and people that I trust and I've learned to trust over the years of judging whether a player is good or not, and not just are they good in the academy, but are they good in the sense of for professional football, for the first team? Do they have what it takes? And they all agree that Josh Achimpong is the real deal. So from that perspective, I take it. Noni needs to sit on the bench. I kind of agree. But the problem is obviously now that Neto was injured, that made things a little bit more difficult. That was only specific game. Noni was good. Ooh, I don't know about that one. Overreached. But overreached for what? What break are you talking about? Sorry, bro. Big ups. Big up yourself, Cranky Ben. Shout out you. Says Laurenz did like this post-match style. Also, yeah. Well, I'm happy that you enjoyed this post-match reaction style. Everybody, get involved. Give me your thoughts and messages in the chat. I hope you're all involved. And by the way, share this to your friends, your mum, your sister, your brother, your dad, your cousins. Your mates. Get everybody involved. Tell them to subscribe. Get them involved. I'd appreciate it. or overstretched. He was on the ground for a bit and got sub 5 minutes later. Oh, was he? That somehow might have got past me. So hopefully he's not injured. Bloody hell. Hopefully not. Joel says 80 national breaks always does badly for us. Yeah, losing Neto is massive. Do we know how bad? Well, as far as I know, and as far as the information we got before the game by Kieran Gill from, I think, The Guardian. He might not be from The Guardian. Please excuse me if I'm wrong on that. He supposedly couldn't shake off a kick that he suffered during the international break, because the weird thing was with Neto that he already left the Portugal camp after the first game, but no one was talking about an injury. They were saying, well, Portugal had already secured first place in the Nations League group, therefore some of the players returned home, including others like Bernardo Silva, I think Ronaldo as well, and Neto was one of those. But then he wasn't pictured in any of the training sessions over the last few days, and everybody was a little bit confused, and now he supposedly couldn't shake off a kick. So that makes me think he's probably going to be fine for next week. But let's see. Emal Augusto was supposedly ill, so he will hopefully also be back for next week. But again, we'll have to wait and see. The eye test, Chelsea eye test, Josh better get his ass on loan, not having any academy play without experience at least one season with grown-ass men. Stop it, lads. Well, that's just stupid. Because all of our best, like, what? No, like, I'm not saying to make him a starter to play regularly. I agree with that. But the best way to give a young player a good loan, and also, when you have two first-team right backs that both get injured regularly, then to have an academy backup in case for at least this season, I think it's a good thing. It's exactly like we had Gilchrist last season. It could be Achapong this season, and then you send him on loan next season. That would be ideal. But no, we're just wasting him away, not training with the first team, not going on loan, not doing anything, not even increasing his value. So, because if he doesn't want to sign a contract, and if he feels blackmailed, threatened, not welcome, doesn't see the pathway as much as a lot of other people do, and he wants to leave and doesn't want to sign a new contract, and he will get sold eventually, well, then think about it. Will he get sold for more or for less, considering he's now not been training or playing for 2 months? So, from every perspective, I just think it's stupid what they're doing. Gaslighting, poor victory is no different than losing to Liverpool and saying we deserve better. First of all, we drew to Liverpool. And second of all, I disagree, because the win's a win. And at the end of the season, people like yourself, Puzzle Life TV, talk about the finishing position. And this is how many wins we have at home. And this is how many wins we have away. And this is our record. And, you know, this is how bad we've been. At the end of the day, it's about points. It's about wins. And come May, you will not remember that this was a bad game. You will remember that we got 3 points. Do you know what I mean? Not at all a good performance. I agree. The game was boring, one-way traffic, but we'll accept the result. No, I agree with that. Who trusts the Guardian? Well, oh yeah, we did. Sorry. We did. Say, in my head, I just pretend like we didn't. My apologies. Yeah. What am I saying? Who trusts the Guardian? Well, the people that Pice retweets, no matter who they play for, are usually quite trustworthy. That's all I'm saying. Who are we even playing on Thursday? I don't even know. Let me check that. Does anybody know who we play on Thursday? Heidenheim. I thought so. But it's a tough game because they are currently 2-1 up away at Leverkusen. Now, Leverkusen just got one back, but Heidenheim was 2-0 up already. Bloody hell. Oh. Well, and now 2 minutes later, Leverkusen equalised. So maybe it's not going to be that difficult. What am I still seeing in the chest here? But Shield was good today. I agree. As someone who criticizes him often, it's good to say he played well today. I agree. What about Sanchez and that short pass to Caicedo? Can't get a new goalkeeper soon enough, mate. It's crazy. It's crazy. How bad he is. How much confidence he costs us. How much confidence he gives the opponents. How much he helps change the momentum. It's unbelievable. It's genuinely unbelievable. Maybe I was being presumptive, to be fair, or presumptuous. But people that complain quite dramatically the way you are right now in terms of stop gaslighting us into, or I'm not so really saying you're necessarily aiming that at me, but more as a general perspective. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I get to that one. The people that criticize, like, okay, stop praising a win. I'm like, you haven't really grasped the situation. The reason why we were as bad as we were, in particular 2 years ago, but also last season, is because we didn't win these games when we didn't play well. That was like, we had games where we played well and we still won those. Sure, we had also games that we played well and didn't win. And we still have those sometimes, like Palace, like Forest, whatever. But the big difference is winning a game where we're not playing well. And I think that is a big difference. And that's why there is something to praise about in that. The game was too slow. I agree with that. Who was it who was tweeting that Sancho is unhappy with minutes? I don't know who that specifically was. I just know that it's quite that there was reports that Spurs are looking at him, and that's hilarious because he literally already played for Manchester United this season, and you're not allowed to play for more than 2 clubs in a season. So there's literally no way in hell that Jadon Sancho could possibly go anywhere other than back to Manchester United. It's the only place he could go. But yeah, what keeper is an alternative? Mike Penders, bro. Whoever the women's goalie is, it would be better, arguably. It was a shit victory, and if you play like this against less opposition till March, we might finish 4th. I disagree, because you need to use context. The context of 2 of our starting players in midfield today arriving from South America on Thursday. That is a big role. The fact that we had the winger that probably would have started today over Madueke was unavailable. That the right back who plays a crucial role in how we like to play was unavailable. There's context to these things. And also, we could have easily won the game 3 or 4-0 if Madueke and Palmer and the combination of those two just took their chances a bit better. Let's also be honest. Do you know what I mean? Not going to lie, both Sanchez and Noni are giving this season anxiety so far. I'm hoping it works out in the end, but it doesn't. But if it doesn't, we will be out with pitchforks. I mean, pitchforks against Noni seems a bit harsh, but for Sanchez for sure. I don't know who's better, but recruitment better be on it, because Sanchez will cost us if he continues to be our number 1. I agree. Sanchez gives me grey hair. Oh my God, what about sending that clown on loan and bring Petrovic back? I would love to, but the problem is Petrovic is also so bad at passing that Petrovic might do something like Sanchez did today as well. A victory is a victory. We were in control of the game. Not good to be negative. I agree. Like, they had nothing. We stopped them from doing anything until at the end we nearly bottled it. And I know that's to say, oh yeah, nearly bottled it, so we did nearly bottle it. But for the 95% of this game, we had so much control and we were so comfortable that, yeah, I just think the negativity is a bit too much. Because, I mean, our record against Steve Cooper, by the way, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but our record against Steve Cooper in the Premier League when he was Nottingham Forest manager, we didn't beat him in 3 games. 3 games we played against him, we never won. 2 draws, 1 loss, I'm pretty sure it was. So we struggle against these kind of low blocks. Be happy that we won. Be happy that we created the chances that we won, that we did. If we need a real keeper, who is far more assertive and safe? I agree. Pass the life, take a little bit lighter, mate. I agree. I don't understand people being negative after that win. It was 2-0 until the 95th minute penalty. These are the points that we must get to make top 4. Learn to take positives. Yeah, I agree. Let's get into FOTMob once again, and let's talk a bit more about Robert Sanchez. Now, he got booked for time wasting, which I thought was a bit harsh. Obviously, the goal he conceded was from a penalty. He kind of stayed in the middle for the penalty. Yeah, didn't work out. I'm not going to be too harsh on that. He still already saved a penalty this season. But yeah, we're back to playing a lot of long balls, which 95% don't work. The first one, by the way, happened after 15 seconds, and he misplaced it so far that it went out for a goal kick for Leicester. So that was brilliant. We had kickoff, passed it back to Sanchez. Sanchez punts it long over everybody. It goes up for a goal kick. That's what I love to see, isn't it? Did he have any on-the-ground passes that were misplaced? Well, no. Officially, no, even though we all know the one to Cazorla was ridiculous and he should have never made that. To get to our player ratings, because, that's also what we're here for. That ref is... Well, except when he didn't bloody send Palmer off, or when he didn't bloody send the other guy... not Palmer off. Didi off for nearly breaking Palmer's leg, or the other guy for nearly breaking João Felix's leg. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. Sanchez is a natural laxative because every time he gets the ball, I shit myself. That's funny. Yeah, I agree. I will remember that. We have eminently winnable games in the next 8. We win, we move on, we push up the table. Maybe that's actually something that I might touch on later because our next run is more than favorable. Sanchez 4 is what JP says. Terrell says Sanchez will cost us a lot of points before the season ends. Makes me nervous every time he touches the ball. Sanchez 2, ref on our side. Terrible take. Yeah. No, well, I think in the end it balanced itself out a little bit, but I still think in the grand scheme of things, the ref was certainly more on Leicester's side than he was on our outside, I would say. But as for Rob Sanchez, we looked at the stats, not great. Didn't make super bad errors. So that's why I'm going to go 3. I'm not going to go 2. I'm not going to go 4. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. Give him a 3. And honestly, the less said about him, the better. The only thing that maybe could be said and could be touched on that I just find odd is what must Jurgensen be doing wrong in training so that Sanchez still gets picked? Or do you think Maresca is purely trying to save Sanchez's confidence? Because the problem is as soon as he dropped Sanchez for a Premier League game and plays Jurgensen, the fact that we saw Jurgensen against Newcastle in a cup against that level of opposition, and he didn't look great. If you then drop Sanchez for him, and Jurgensen also doesn't do well, then you still don't have a good Jurgensen, but you've killed Sanchez's confidence, and that probably makes him even worse. Then again, you could argue exactly what Sanchez needs is killing his confidence so he doesn't make as many stupid passes. That is also a way to think about it and consider it. I think 3 is harsh. Maybe. But I think considering how dominant we were, how little Leicester did, and how little they got close to our goal, considering that we still speak about him as a problem, that in itself makes it so bad that even though in principle a 3 is maybe harsh for what happened, I think it's more than justified. For should have saved the pen, harsh, but he got a hand to it. I use sacks of pens. I'll never say a goalie should have saved the pen unless he gets the corner and had a hand on it. The reason he had a hand on it is because he's massive and stayed in the middle. Maybe he even tried to go the other way and kind of stopped himself. It's difficult. The pen that was given was definitely a penalty. The other one that wasn't given, the potential foul on Fofana, that you can maybe debate a little bit more. For me, it was a bit of a too dramatic dive by the guy. There was minimal contact, and he went leaping like a salmon. Do you know what I mean? So that was a bit far for me. Let's get into the defenders, and let's open the FOTMob screen again so we can look at some of these guys' stats. Do I have it big enough for you? Yes, I do. Let's start with Lever Colwell. He's the middle of the 3. 90% passing accuracy, 9 misplaced passes. Let's see how many of those were long passes. Only 1 of them. So that's interesting. But yeah, I do love that, Maresca's tactics like this minutely change every single game. I do find that very, very interesting. And also he said even before this game that because obviously Leicester's his old club, they know him well. And that's why we will be trying slightly different things. And you could see that with the lineup today. Obviously, part of it was forced due to injuries, or illnesses, Malagusto and Pedro Neto. But still, I think we tried to play slightly differently. And I think that helped us, if I'm being honest. But yeah, as for Colwell, I didn't really notice him defensively that much. And you could see it there. 1 ground duel that he lost, 1 aerial duel that he won. He wasn't in more than 2 duels. He had 0 tackles. His passing wasn't outrageous. But I don't think he's the guy that plays them onside, I guess, for the goal. But I'd probably give him a 6. I'd probably just give him a basic 6. Okay, Puzzle Life TV wants to give him a 4. Well, you must be fun at parties. But yeah, a 4. We won. We had a clean sheet until the 93rd or 5th minute, and a penalty that Colwell, actually, sure, he played the guy on side, but wasn't at fault for, really. So I'll give him a 6. I think a 6 is more justified. I mean, I'm seeing a few different ones. Respect Enzo. I more than respect him. I remember Kepa staying in the League Cup final when Sarri tried to Caballero, and there was a pen. Kepa, yeah, no, I agree. That is one of the examples where you can say he should have saved it, but I don't think today is one of those. 6.5 for Colwell from Joel, 6 or 6.5 or 7 from JP. Logo also says 6.5. Puzzle Life TV, like I said, says 4. David says 5. Colwell performed great. I mean, I think great is a bit far. But yeah, I'll give him a 6. I think a 6 is somewhat reasonable. And we move on. And we go over to Badiashile because out of possession, he was a centre-back. Well, Fofana was obviously a right-back out of possession, so I'll do the centre-backs first. And again, guys, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. Hit that like button. It really helps me out spread these streams out to more people, so I massively appreciate that. And we go to Big Ben Badiashile. 98% passing accuracy, had even more passes than Colwell, which is very interesting considering our shape. Usually the central centre-back has the most passes, but it was actually the left centre-back that had most of those. Had an accurate cross, had 5 out of 8 successful long balls. Compare that to obviously Colwell, who only attempted 1. 1 out of 2 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerial duels. Didn't have a tackle either, though. I thought Badiashile was very, very good. And in my group chat with the boys, with Pice and Ollie and all these guys, Connor, Holden as well, lots of others, Lewis as well, I put in a poll before the game where the lineup had come out, and I said, who's going to have a howler first today, Sanchez or Badiashile? Because I thought they were the 2 most likely. And it turned out to be Sanchez. Not really sure why I'm surprised. But Badiashile, I thought, played really, really well. I didn't see much of Colwell today, to be honest. And same, hence why I'm giving him a 6. Benoit was great, actually. I agree. Badiashile was really good today. Buddy 7. Ben has brilliant vision for pass. Yeah, he does. 7.5. 8 even from Joel. Pause Live TV says 6. Bloody hell, you are a depressing guy. But hey, appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts. I would love if you were more detailed rather than, okay, I'll give Kobel a low rating. I'll give Badiashile a low rating. I know what you said in terms of that we played badly, but what did the defenders do wrong in your opinion? Because Badiashile had very good passing, stopped a lot of attacks, was very aggressive in his tackle, had very good timing today. And well, the potential penalty came on the other side, Fofana's side, so certainly nothing to do with Badiashile. The other penalty also had nothing to do with Badiashile, and the defense was in general pitch perfect, inch perfect until the 93rd minute. So I quite baffled by how you can give Badiashile as low as a 6, if I'm honest. I'll give him a 7.5. I don't think as a team we played well enough, and I don't think the opponent played well enough to give him an 8 for what he did, purely because there was just not enough to do defensively to go higher than 7.5 for me. But I do think he warrants ever so slightly higher than a 7. So I will give Big Ben a 7.5, and I'm very happy for him. Very, very happy for him, because this is important for us to have this option. That we don't have to play Disasi right back and Fofana as a centre back. It's important for us to have this option, to play this at least in the Premier League. As at least my perspective. 7.5 from Gabriel as well. The logo says, I feel like Puzzle Life gets a lot of low scores from his missus in the bedroom. Bloody hell. Wrong setup. But the wrong setup is even less so a reason to give the players a bad rating. Like, once we get to Maresca later, if you had an issue with the setup, fair enough. But to give the players low rating for if you think we had a bad setup, I don't really understand that logic. Disaster, thankfully no one near the team. Well, he will start Thursday, but yeah. Best performance for Badiashile in 9 months. Probably true, to be honest. Probably true. And we move on to Wesley Fofana. And now, guys, I want your thoughts. Did you think that potential foul by Wesley Fofana, that the referee gave us nothing and VAR kept us on-field decision, should that have been a penalty? Or not? Looking at his stats, 94% passing accuracy, only 4 passes misplaced. None of them were long balls, to be fair, because he only attempted 1 long ball and was successful with that. He had a successful dribble as well, which is good. Had a successful tackle. 4 out of 8 ground duels is good enough, but not good. 1 out of 3 aerial duels. I'm not happy with that at all, actually, because he's a centre-back playing right back. Who's he in aerial duels with that he's losing? I mean, shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, obviously the potential penalty. I thought otherwise he was good. He was aggressive, but there wasn't that much to do. What am I saying? I'm too tough for misses. Fair dudes. Can someone please tell me if it's true that Nkunku want to leave in January? Well, there's reports, there's news stories going around, but I don't think that he wants to go in January. I think there's a chance that he maybe has to go in the summer. Maybe we'll want to go in the summer, but I don't think in January, especially because Chelsea are not going to be willing to sell for, a decent fee. I don't really see what West could have done to avoid the collision. That's my thinking. And like I say, the guy just leaped like a salmon, and I find that a bit, Buzz Live TV says Fofana 5. I mean, at least just sticking true to what you're saying. I don't understand why Fofana was now so much better than Kobel again, but sure. Good that Bada can be an option for us in playing small teams. Yeah, I agree. 7.5 for Fofana. 8 for Fofana. It was very positive in his runs forward. No, I agree with that, but they didn't really help much, did they? Fofana slightly better than Kobel, so 7 for me. I'm between a 6.5 and a 7. I'm between a 6.5 and a 7. Please, obviously, if you think he deserves lower, explain why. If you think he deserves the higher one of my 2, explain why as well, because I don't want to do a poll for every single one of these. But elaborate to me why you think a 7 is more justified, or why you think a 6.5 is more justified. Those are the 2 I'm deciding between. Fofana, best centre back we have. No, I think that's Kobel personally. Low, his runs didn't really help because Noni did nothing really true. If the ref gave that, no objection. It was 50-50. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's one of those that you can give, but you don't have to give. I think if he gives it, you're like, okay, a bit soft. And if he doesn't give it, you're like, yeah, close enough. It was one of those where had the ref given it, VAR would have definitely not overturned it. But it was also, because the ref hadn't given it, VAR didn't overturn it. But, by the way, this doesn't make it right what happened with the Palmer not given red card against Palmer, because that just was a clear and obvious error that VAR should have overturned. Maybe it's just because I noticed Fofana more. Yeah, maybe. Noni wasted his runs. That's valid. I mean, he did, but not everything that Noni wasted came from Fofana's runs. We can't just pretend that either. Like, that doesn't help anyone. Not in my opinion. Anyway, Maybe it's just because I noticed Fofana more. I already read that out. I mean, you haven't really elaborated too much. Yes, I'll be honest, guys. What do I give him? I'll give him a 6.5 because I think Badiashile was there was more of a gap in performance between Badiashile and Fofana than I felt there was between Fofana and Kobo. That's why I'm going to go for the 6.5. Yeah, that's what I will do. Caicedo, I mean, we looked at it earlier. There's a case to be made that I don't really know who could have potentially been the second. I don't know. It just doesn't really, the lineup doesn't really make sense to me. Like, maybe like a diamond? Could you make a case for that in periods of the game? And then obviously sometimes Enzo then ran there and then Palmer dropped here. Because we looked at the average positions earlier. Caicedo was quite clearly the lone midfielder, but João Felix clearly didn't play this deep. So this is also not accurate. But Cucurella wasn't here and Felix here all game either. So you can't say it was that either. So yeah, it's very fluid. A lot of like formation changes, positional changes. So it's very difficult to really put it into accurate formation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it around a little bit and I'm going to put it into an off-the-ball formation because at least for that one, we can be very clear what the formation was. But guys, already put it in the chat for me. What did you make of Moises Caicedo today? I don't think there was a great deal from him today. Nothing, bad. He got a bit unnecessarily booked for, questioning the referee. Well, justifiably so, questioning the referee, but surely we know by now that there's no point in questioning referees. All it does is get you booked. But let's look at his stats. 94% passing accuracy, only 4 misplaced. Out of those, all passes on the ground because he had 4 out of 4 accurate long balls, which is very impressive, to be fair to him. And that one shot, yeah, my God, was that terrible. 2 out of 3 tackles is good. 3 out of 7 ground duels could be a bit better. I'll give Caicedo a 6.5. What are people thinking? Let me know. Let me see what the chat said. More pace and more awareness than Cole constantly performs better. So what about away at Manchester United when Fofana was the main culprit for why we gave away the penalty? I mean, he's faster. Not sure about more awareness, but he's certainly a lot worse on the ball. He's more rash. He's more like, I was going to say he's more like to give penalties away. Actually, Colwell has given away 2 already this season. But yeah, last season, United fans mocked me. I kept my cool and I just let them know we are third. Yeah. Wrong setup. Oops. Okay. Moises wasn't at his best, but he did nothing wrong. I really, really rate Caicedo. 6.5 is fair. Caicedo is really top class. I agree. Caicedo, 6. Nice shot, yeah. 7, he didn't put a foot wrong in that CDM position. 6.5, 5.5. He was in Colombia 3 days ago. Good performance coming back from the break. I think this is the most important thing. Because obviously he's Ecuadorian or Colombian. Was there a game against Colombia, or did you mix up the flags? To be fair, they're very similar flags, so I wouldn't hold it too far against you. But there's a couple of things. So not only was he in South America 3 days ago, and only arrived back in England on Thursday, he also had a child on either Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe in the night from Wednesday to Thursday, he had a kid. I'm not sure if his first kid, but a kid anyway. So first of all, congratulations for your newborn, Moises Caicedo, and to have had that, how many players missed the game, sit out the game after they've just had a child and whatever, and plus after international break. So big up him for even starting. You could also tell the fact that he came off was also a bit of a sign that he wasn't fully fresh and fully fit. So yeah, you know what? With those circumstances, I'm actually going to give him a 7. I think purely objectively, it's more of a 6.5, but with those circumstances I just spoke about, I'll give him a 7. Big up you, Moises Caicedo. And now we get to Enzo Fernandez, and I love to have this conversation. I'm just going to scroll through something. I'm going to bring up the stats for you in a minute, so you can already look at them while I'm trying to look and scroll through to find some stats, because I saw some fantastic stats. Enzo Fernandez, 1 man on the match, which is nice and which is good. You know what? We're actually going to open. How's that happened then? Hello. My apologies. I'll have it open for you in just a second. This is what happens when I'm streaming by myself. But hey, some of you say you enjoy it, so I'm glad you enjoyed. Let me bring up the face of wrong tab. I mean, not fully the wrong tab, but kind of the wrong tab. So there you go. Enzo Fernandez with his man of the match. Trophy. So let me actually look for the stat that I was looking for. What? Maresca said on whether Leicester should have had a red card. I don't think so, to be honest. He doesn't think that was a red card. Is he mental? Is he mental? Sorry, I just need to send this to my group chat because I'm blown away by this. My apologies. Leicester boss Steve Cooper, we've had some terrible luck with this referee. That's continued today. I don't know about that. I'm still scrolling for these Enzo Fernandez stats that I'm looking for. I'm still looking for them. Just bear with me. You know, if you have things to say, if you have things to add, please do. But there we go. I finally found the stats. I hope you haven't gone anywhere. Like I said, if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe. Enzo Fernandez has 6 assists and a goal in his last 4 matches. Divorced Enzo Fernandez is unbelievable. Divorced Enzo Fernandez is unbelievable. What on earth? What's happened? What's happened? Whenever Enzo is playing in midfield, the midfield is boring. Connor was better, even Lavia. Okay. I mean, I understand your take of boring, but you got to think that the manager wants him to do this. Like, you know what I mean? The manager wants him to play like this. The manager wants to add control. Also, Enzo was in the box constantly. He got an assist and a goal, and he wasn't even playing deep. So if anyone of the midfielders was at fault for us being slow and boring today, that was Caicedo. I've got to be honest. He's such a quality player. Honestly, anyone wondering how we'd replace N'Golo 2 years later, 2 years from now, imagine. I assume that was still about Caicedo. Ecuador was playing in Colombia. Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. Crispy, appreciates it. Ricardo saying we create more with Enzo in the team. You having a laugh, look at the stats that prove it. 9.5. Now, I think 9.5 overdoes it. But 7. I mean, see, even Puzzle TV is given a high rating. 9 for me for Enzo. He was in America. 2, absolutely. And I think he actually played both games. Moises Caicedo was suspended for Ecuador's first game anyway. Enzo was good today. He was. Enzo was good. Game suited him. I watched... I can't read that. Sorry. How is getting the ball, rolling it, and catching the opponent with the follow-through a red, but not the challenge today that wasn't even close to the ball? That's my question, Jose. That is my question. I just don't understand. For Enzo to perform, the game must be slow like today. If the game has pace, he can't keep up. Or think about something else. Against teams where we're the better team, the more the game has pace, the more open it becomes, the more of a lottery it becomes, the more of a basketball game it becomes. Like when Chelsea played Manchester City last year, when we, as the worst team, played Pochettino ball, made the game crazy, and that's why we got a result, at least at home against Man City, as an example. But again, in this kind of game, the more crazy we make it, the more likely we are to not win. So the more controlled the whole thing is, the more likely we are to win. And I mean, we had plenty of chances to be 3-0 up much earlier. Sure, the penalty at the end now makes the result look a bit closer, but we were very comfortable. Leicester had 1 shot, like realistically. So yeah, but you know, everyone has their own opinion. Harit says, thoughts on Noni. I'll get to that when we talk about Noni. Chelsea were terrible. Leicester were worse. Kind of how it goes a lot of the time when you play against a promoted team. While it's directly after the international break, early kickoff, 2 of your most important players coming from South America. It's kind of how it goes. Enzo even looks a lot stronger in a tackle, and his pace has improved a bit as well. See, I always think that the people talking about his pace were always a little bit harsh. I think he's not very quick off the mark, but I think when he gets going, he has okay pace. I'm not saying he's quick, but he's much quicker than Jorginho was. He's quicker than Cesc Fabregas was, in my opinion, by a good bit. At least Cesc Fabregas, by the time he was at Chelsea, Cesc at Arsenal was a bit different. But even still, there was a good few interceptions, a good few tackles. And again, 6 assists and a goal in his last 4 matches. Now, sure, some of his last 4 matches were also in the Conference League, so that will help the stats. But still, he got an assist in the last game when he came off the bench. He got an assist in the goals today. What more do you want? Enzo's not so sharp, but he easily connects midfield with the attack. Sorry, I'm on my mobile tab. Yeah, it's okay. I give him 7.5, 8.5 for Enzo. Now, let me look at the stats first, because I want to see some stats. Obviously, Fortman gave him a 9.0 rating. He had 84% passing accuracy, obviously quite high up the pitch. So to have only 9 misplaced passes. How many of those were long balls? To be fair, his long balls rate wasn't that great today. But, obviously from a higher position, they're a bit more difficult. And he was playing a bit higher today for the most part. Tackles 1, 2 out of 5 is okay. Ground duels, 7 out of 9. I mean, Caicedo had 3 out of 7. So Enzo put in a shift. You know what I mean? Like a shift. That was one moment that I really enjoyed, where Leicester were trying to break. Enzo was steaming back, trying to like stop the counter-attack. Caicedo and I can't remember who the other was, but another one of our players, maybe Cuckoo, kind of like the Leicester player kind of sent them, but Enzo read it and stopped him perfectly. I'm going to give Enzo Fernandez an 8.5. An 8.5. I'm not giving him a 9 because, well, the goal was a tap-in and the pass and the assist was, well, how do I explain it? The assist was the large majority of the work was done by Jackson, then the ball kind of fell to Enzo, but he did well to feed it to Jackson again. But then there was still a lot of work for Jackson to do, so I'm not going to overdo it for that assist. I'm going to give him an 8.5, but he was very good today, very crucial today. And that's what we love to see from him, isn't it? And again, 6 goals, 1 goal, 6 assists, 1 goal in 4 games. You can't complain at that. You absolutely cannot complain at that. Big up yourself, Mr. Enzo Fernandez. Glad to see it. Maybe we should all get divorced. No, I'm joking. If my girlfriend sees this, no, it's fine. Don't worry. Cole Palmer, though. You're lagging a bit. I'm sorry if I am. I don't know why I am lagging. I have good internet. I don't know why this is the case. There's literally nothing I can do about it. Honestly, guys, I'm really sorry if I do lag a bit. Oh, I mean, I assume you would know whether it's your own internet that could also be playing a part why I'm laggy. I'm not sure. It was luck. What was luck? The goal? Lol, what? Are you reacting to Puzzle Live TV? I'm not sure. He's even playing great for his country as well. He is. He's the man of the match, so he should get the highest rating, albeit nothing special in the performance. Now, I think the performance was a little bit, there was a moment of special, but no, he will definitely get the highest rating for sure. I'm not giving anybody else a higher than an 8.5. You can be damn sure about that. Palmer, for me, again, was very average, even a bit below average. Get off the Starling, Clarence. Mate, trust me, where I am, Starling would not work. Palmer 6 from Puzzle Live TV. See, now, you're giving Colwell a 4 and Palmer a 6. I can't take anything that you say seriously now, bro. Sorry. 5.5 or 6. Palmer 6.5. He seems different in the 10. He needs to be on the right. What about earlier in the season when he was amazing playing in the 10? Palmer 6. Yeah, so I was thinking I'm only giving him a 5.5, I think that was too much. No, you know what? I'm only giving him a 5. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cole. I love you. And you're fantastic, and you're the best, and you're great, and wonderful, and beautiful. Well, maybe not so beautiful. But anyway, but that wasn't it. Like, okay, 7 misplaced passes isn't that bad, to be honest, but 0 out of 2 dribbles, 0 out of 6 crosses. I mean, the duels is okay. He played a corner out of bounds, so he didn't even get into the middle. I was not happy. Is 5 too harsh? No, but you're not being honest. If you think Colwell got a 4 and Palmer got a 6, then you're not being honest and you're biased or didn't pay attention to the game. Shouldn't be taken off. He should have been. He just didn't do much at all today. Palmer's having a poor streak. At the moment, he's a little. Cole needs to be a good right wing. He needs a good right winger to help him play. He didn't have that in Noni. Yeah. To some extent. Obviously, okay, I changed my mind. I didn't know Enzo got divorced. Well, I don't know if it's officially done yet, but he decided to split from his partner a few weeks ago. If Noni doesn't block his goal, what would you give him? Exactly. That's what I just remembered, the logo. I don't know how I forgot, but that actually changes it. I'll give him a 6. Even though he was average and probably below average, he would have had a goal. If Noni Madueke didn't, well, him and Noni Madueke together didn't produce the worst miss potentially in history. Like, this might be let me see if I can find like a screenshot of it, because this might be the worst miss in history. Like, it might be, Let me see. Surely there has to be some sort of screenshot of it. Yeah, there it is. So I'll just bring that up for you so you can look at that. But yeah, like I say, that might be the worst miss I've ever seen. So you can't really tell there. But I think this might be after it hit Noni's foot. So Palmer shot, basically for an empty goal. So what happened is we kind of counter-attacked. I think João Felix played it wide to Jackson. Jackson cut inside, tried to cut it into the bottom corner of his right foot. The keeper made a decent save, but Palmer and Madueke were kind of onto it and were kind of there. Now, the ball after the keeper saved, it kind of went past Noni and fell to Palmer. Palmer then shoots. Noni does try to jump, but only really pulls his right leg up. His left leg isn't really pulled up. The ball hits the left leg and bounces back. And I think this photo is from just after the ball had hit Noni's foot, because Noni's foot was not that as high as you can see it now when he blocked the ball. Now, maybe there's a small case to be made that the defender might have blocked it anyway. There's a small case to be made that Palmer should have made sure he keeps it on the ground, because Madueke was clearly in the way and he was going to have to jump out the way. And the more you keep it on the ground, the easier, more likely it is to not get, intercepted or whatever. But my God, it was so comical. Now, tell me, guys, was any of you a little bit annoyed at their reaction? Like, on the one, obviously, I don't want them to be mad at each other and start fighting on the pitch. It was never married. Are you sure? Maybe just split from his partner, but I'm very sure on that. Ronnie Rosenthal, yeah, okay, maybe. But I didn't see that. I've seen clips of it, but I didn't watch it live. So there you go. Yeah, it might be the worst miss I've ever seen. Literally. What am I saying? He tried to get out the way, to be fair. Oh, he did, but you need to jump with both legs, not just one. I mean, that's just stupid. You know what I mean? Honestly, I meant don't be a dick and project another's honesty. I'm not being a dick, bro. I just think you're wrong. If you think me thinking you're wrong is me being a dick, I apologize. I don't know why Madueke didn't raise his leg. Exactly. Just kind of unlucky. Unlucky but stupid, though. That defender was definitely not stopped by that was definitely not being stopped by the defender. Yeah, maybe not. Yes, I was annoyed, and so was Maresca. I was glad they laughed it off. I'm thinking, imagine this happened to Frank Lampard and hello. There you go. Imagine this happened to Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba. I think Drogba would have literally kicked the goalpost in half out of anger. Now, who cares now? You're the one that... What? No. Mate, you're so confusing, man. I don't want to be spending this whole stream having a go at you, but what? So you're saying we played shit. You're saying don't gaslight us over winning a game, even though we're shit, and Leicester were just even more shit than we were, and Cole are 4, and everybody's terrible anyway. And now you're saying who cares about us when we should have made it 2-0 much earlier in the game, could have then therefore won the game 3 or 4-0. And you're saying who cares? What? So what do you want then? Do you care about how we played? Do you care about how many goals we scored? Do you care about the scoreline? Do you care about momentum and weighting of games? Or do you not? Like, which is it then? Do you care about the result, or do you care about what happens? I'm baffled. Sorry that I lost my mind on this, but this baffled me a little bit. I wasn't too annoyed. No. The miss itself, I mean, it annoyed me a little bit, but not like super loads. But yeah, they could have just, again, not been annoyed at each other, but just not smiled as much. I don't know. But yeah, each their own, obviously. If we lost, I might just be more annoyed than I am now. Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm just right. Didier and Frank don't laugh. No, exactly. And who is some of our most successful goal scorers? We definitely weren't crap. Performance was good. I mean, yeah, no. I know your honest personal opinion. I'm not even debating that. But, an agenda can be honest. An agenda, some people don't know about their agendas now, but I think I've had to quote you enough past live to be. My apologies. Yeah, but what a miss. What a miss, just to sum that up. But yeah, I'll give Palmer a 6, because without Noni jumping in the way, it would have been a goal. So then he would have had at least a goal. And maybe then I would have even given him a higher than a 6. Let me do João Felix. In my opinion, out of the non-defenders, no, it was Jackson probably. But in terms of normal play, I reckon it might have been Felix. That might have been kind of our second best player, if you want, because I was pretty happy with him. Let me highlight his stats. I thought he was very active. I thought he did a lot of things, made a lot of things happen. I was literally just on the lineup. How can... I feel like my computer is struggling. I don't know why it's struggling, but I feel like it's struggling. Just bloody showed it. I'm clicking on lineup. I don't understand. I don't understand, guys. This page isn't working. Aha. So it's just FOTMob that isn't working. Fair enough then. The FOTMob website is down. Well, that's obviously a bit of an issue. So let me bring up the stats on João Felix's page via SofaScore. So ignore FOTMob. Supposedly their website doesn't want to work. So that's not my fault. And not my computer's fault either. Can I move this? No. Can I zoom in on it a little bit? My apologies. Match shot map. Fair enough. He had those 3 shots. Yeah. So what did he do? 0.11 expected goals. Didn't see much of that. 6 misplaced passes, 86% passing accuracy from that moment is good. 1 key pass is nice as well. 2 out of 3 long balls is pretty good. 4 out of 8 dribbles. I mean, attempting it is pretty impressive. Succeeding with 4 is good. Ground duels, 9 out of 14. Bloody hell. He was even going for slide tackles as well. Wait, is there a tackle stat somewhere here? No, there is. But remember his slide tackles in the beginning of the game? I was very, very happy with those. Very, very happy with those. Let me see what the people have said. Crazy that Enzo has been playing better since the separation. It is kind of weird, isn't it? Felix was good. 7. I thought Felix played well today. 7.5 from me. Good game from him. I'd like to see João given more Premier League minutes. I'm off. Have a great day, gentlemen. Class as always, Laurenz. Thank you, Logo. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Have a good one. What will I give João Felix? I've seen a couple of arguments made, I suppose. What am I thinking? I'm thinking... Okay, now because we gave Caicedo a 7, I need to give João Felix a 7.5. Maybe a little bit much. Maybe a 7 would be more justified. But because Caicedo got a 7, I think João Felix was better. So I'm giving João Felix a 7.5. Let's get to Madueke. Does this work again now? FOTMob works again. Nice. So we can actually use the stats that look a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. Now, passes. 22 out of 27. Not too bad. 5 misplaced passes, can't complain with that. A lot of shots, a lot of cutting inside. 2 out of 3 shots were on target. 1 forced a decent save at least. 1 out of 3 dribbles is not great. 0 out of 2 crosses, not great. Yeah, okay, these numbers, the defensive numbers are decent. But yeah, it just frustrated me a lot today. I thought there was a lot wrong with what Noni did today. Now, that big chance that he had, from that wonderful Nicolas Jackson cross. Now, the finish in itself on his weak foot is not easy. And I'm not going to be too critical of that finish in itself. What I am critical of is that was a long, like a cross not hit with a lot of pace. And the ball traveled for a long distance. So Madueke had a lot of time to judge the cross better and position himself better. Take a 3 or 4 steps back and then have a much easier angle and a much easier position to shoot. Either you can even try to shoot with his left if he did that, or it certainly makes things easier with his right foot. But he didn't do that. Now, the finish itself, I'm not going to be too critical because it's the most difficult. But judge the cross better, position yourself better, and then it's an easy tap-in. The fact that he literally played goalkeeper for Leicester and stopped a goal on the goal line, that doesn't help. I'm not going to be so harsh as some other people are going to be. I have to go lower than that. I have to go 4.5 because I would have given Palmer 5. So I have to give him 4.5. But I'm not going to go lower than that because I'm just realizing I completely forgot about Cucurella. So we'll go back to Cucurella after Madueke. Sorry, Cuckoo. But yeah, like even a 4.5 seems a little bit on the edge of harsh. If like honestly, thinking to myself, because he was still okay. He was still a threat. He was causing problems, but there was just too many wrong decisions, too many, moments where he just messed it up. Madueke for me is a weird one because he wasn't necessarily terrible, but not very good either. So probably a 5 for me. Yeah, like I say, I probably would have given 5, but then my 5 for Palmer would have been harsh. So now, you know what? I'll give him a 5 anyway because in the end I did raise it for Palmer. I just think lower than a 5 would be a bit too harsh. Because I think he was okay. Uzea says 4 to 4.5. If Cole only gets 6, then Noni's lucky to get 5. I mean, fair enough. But can you tell me, other than that goal that he should have scored, what did Palmer do? Like, I don't remember a single nice skill, a single nice pass, a single shot that nearly went in or anything. So, I'm just surprised at where the positivity and, in your opinion, lacking rating is kind of coming from, if that makes sense. But there you go. You thought Noni was good. I mean, at least I raised it to a 5, I guess, right? At least I raised it to a 5. Let's go over back to good old Marco Correa. And let's raise his stats, because he was also very, very strong today, I thought. Can you see this? No, you can't. So let me change the screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Marco Correa's stats. 47 out of 56 passes, so 9 passes misplaced. A lot of players that had 9 missed passes. 9 misplaced passes. I can't even speak anymore. I thought he had a successful dribble, but fair enough. 1 out of 2 crosses, and that one cross set up the second goal, and in the end, essentially the game-winning goal, because a lovely cross from Correa from the left side over to Jackson. Jackson wins the header, so big ups to Nicolas Jackson for that. The keeper makes a strong save, but it kind of bounces out, and Enzo Fernandez just had to head home from close distance. But the most difficult part of that was Mosandi Correa's cross, winning the initial header by Jackson. So well done. 2 out of 3 tackles is good as well. 5 out of 10 ground duels is okay. I thought the yellow card I thought he got booked. He didn't get booked, but that was a foul that he gave away, where he slightly touched the opposition player in the back, and the ref gave a foul immediately. And I was like, sorry, what on earth? That is not a foul. What are you doing? I'm gonna give Cuckoo only a 7, a little bit less than João Felix. I'm forgetting about this, guys. I need to give Caicedo a 6.5. This is too high for me. I don't think it warrants a 7 today. I'm sorry. Because I think Correa wasn't quite as good as João Felix. Well, but then I'm just remembering that Felix volley. You know what? I'm giving them both a 7. I'm giving them both a 7. Because the only reason why I'm not giving Cuckoo a 7.5, straight ref Norgard, but Palmer's wasn't. I'm obviously not seeing whatever happened with Norgard. Sorry. But yeah, there was one moment where they attacked us, which forced nearly forced a save from Sanchez, and the Leicester player just dragged it wide in the first half, where I thought Correa was a bit too central defensively. Yeah, it's maybe on the harsh side, but yeah, I don't want to overdo it as well. Like with the ratings, like we played against a poor team. Let's be honest, we didn't play amazing. We played decent, but not amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7. Big up you though, Correa. Still one of our most important players and one of my first names on the team sheet. Do I think he was better than Badiashile? No, I think Badiashile was better, if I'm honest. So yeah, let's move up the pitch to our last starter of the day and go to didn't do anything wrong. How does he only get 7? Yeah, I mean, there was that one defensive moment where I thought he did do something wrong, but maybe it is still too harsh. Cuckoo great again. Just really stepped up. He's the player that we paid so much for, 7.5 or 8. Only takes defenders on a lot. He does, but he only completed 1 dribble today. The large majority of the time he went backwards today or went inside and went for a shot that wasn't on. Ball up, good passing. It's more trustworthy than Noni. Goes searching for the ball. I mean, yeah, but that's his job. Don't want to sound like Roy Keane here, but that is his job. While it is not Noni's job to drop deep and receive the ball. Noni's job is to stay wide, receive the ball, and take his man on. But only really the plan is when he gets into a 1v1 position. But the way Leicester played today, we weren't really getting in 1v1 positions. So it was a bit of a tough afternoon. I mean, do you guys think I'm too harsh with giving Correa a 7? Like, if enough of you tell me this in the chat, I will check it, add it again in a second. I'll push it back up to 7.5. But Nicolas Jackson, I mean, I can only praise him so much. My God, I was so happy with him today. What a goal. Like, the way he was fighting for it with Fayez, who's obviously a lot bigger than him. Now, was it all pretty? No, but he was that. He was intense. He was chasing after it, stopping Fayez from clearing it, puts it to Enzo, or did Fayez touch it to Enzo? I'm not sure. And then that little daft touch around the defender. Oh, it was gorgeous. And then the finish on the outside of the right boot in the side net. And what a goal. What a goal, man. Nicolas Jackson, top 3 Premier League strikers. Easily. And now there's the two other players that people make a case for are Ollie Watkins and Isak. Now, I personally don't think either of them are better. if I'm honest. Now, as for Ollie Watkins is a lot older than Nicolas Jackson. And what was Ollie Watkins doing when he was 22 or 23 like Nicolas Jackson was? Ollie Watkins wasn't even playing Premier League football then. So that's why I think Nicolas Jackson is better. Is he more of a finished article than Ollie Watkins? No. But he's a better player. And I also think he's better than Isak. Now, Isak maybe has slightly bigger and better, to some extent, talent-wise. And maybe if you played for a different team that played different style of football than Newcastle, maybe he would also look a bit stronger. But I think he's better than Isak. I think he's the second best striker in the Premier League behind Erling Haaland. I'm a huge fan. And I want to highlight this as well today. How many times do people go on about, we need a box striker, we need a box presence because Jackson can't do it? Now, what did Jackson do today? Now, he scored a fantastic goal against the low block. He should have had a fantastic assist against the low block with a wonderful cross to Noni Madueke. Then, unfortunately, Noni messed up. And that header, obviously, I know it didn't go in and it won't officially count as an assist because he kind of headed it. Well, the keeper saved his header. But the fact that he won that header against the low block, against that kind of team, I think is a dramatic improvement from Nicolas Jackson. I'm going to give him an 8 because in the grand scheme of things, he maybe wasn't. Now, you know what? He also gets an 8.5. I think he did, in the grand scheme of things, equally as much as Enzo Fernandez. Because there was moments where I also was like, yeah, Enzo isn't. Maybe changing my mind again. Let's look at the stats, and then I'll make my mind up finally. He only had 8 passes today, which is kind of crazy. 6 of them were accurate, so it's not too bad. 3 out of 3 shots, all of them on target, so that's good going, I suppose. Had a successful dribble, a successful cross. Again, I talked about it. Fantastic cross. 1 out of 2 tackles is good. 4 out of 6 ground duels. 1 out of 3 aerial duels is pretty good as well. Yeah, it just wasn't that involved, but that's kind of part of the game. Now, you know what? I'll give him that 8.5. I'll give him that 8.5, and I know he wasn't that involved, and that will make some people say, yeah, but he wasn't involved. But this is the kind of game where the striker isn't going to be that involved. You know, how many touches did he have? Why has that changed again now? So now FODMOB isn't working again. Brilliant. This bloody website tries to change its mind about what it does and doesn't want to do literally every 2 seconds. Don't understand why that's happening. How many touches did he have? 28 touches. Interesting, out of 28 touches, he only had 8 passes, but fair enough. But yeah, I will give him that 8.5 because this is the kind of game where no striker is going to be very involved. And you don't want your striker to permanently drop deep and be super involved. But he got a goal, kind of half an assist, should have had another assist. He did everything you want from a striker. 1.5 more than Cuckoo? Yeah, maybe that is quite a lot, to be fair. Maybe I'll raise it for Cuckoo to a 7.5. I will raise it. The cross was also on his weak foot as well. Exactly. He is good. 7.5 would be fair. But when he was involved, he made an impact. Exactly. I don't mind 8.5 if Cuckoo gets 7.5, not 7. Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Big up, Zayden. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate it. I'll give Cuckoo a 7.5. What do we do about João Felix, though? Do we keep him at a 7 or do we raise him up to a 7.5 as well again? I will. You know what? Let's raise them all up again because we're not deciding things today, are we? We're not deciding. Is that then harsh on Caicedo? Maybe. So let's give Caicedo that half point extra again as well. Why the hell not? Now, we only made 2 substitutions today, which, as usual, that's not true. We made 4 substitutions today, but we made substitutions so late that it was kind of like, kind of not so interested, if I'm honest. But yeah, let's look at the subs that we did make today. I think the numbers look better now. Fair enough. The subs that we made were Lavia coming on for Caicedo and Kunku coming on for João Felix. And then it was the other one. Why does it keep doing this, man? Oh, yeah. Sancho came on for another. Okay. Honestly, didn't notice Sancho for 1 second, but I was also trying to prepare the stream, finishing the thumbnail and everything else. And Dewsbury Hall, the most pointless signing since Dennis Drinkwater, also came on. Now, Dewsbury Hall obviously gets an NA because, his existence kind of warrants an NA, if I'm being perfectly honest. Bloody hell. Sancho, I'm giving an NA as well. I can't say an NA. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? Let's look at Lavia and Madueke, though. Let's quickly look at their stats. Is there even any stats for Sancho? 2 out of 3 passes. Attempted a dribble, to be fair. Was successful with it. Fair enough. But yeah, Lavia. Lavia was more involved. 6 passes. I mean, he gave the penalty away. Let's be real. He gave the penalty away. Lavia penalty is harsh. He kicked himself. That's why he fell over. See, I was thinking that. My commentator was thinking that too. But oh yeah, he did. He did do an amazing. That was nice. That was nice. To be fair, it's the most pointless signing ever made. He's so pointless. I want him to not be here. That's what I want. That's what I want. But yeah, was the penalty decision harsh? Yeah, maybe. I do think there was some contact to it. It's a tough one for me. But Lavia came on in the 81st minute, same as Kunku said. They're probably all getting an NA. So I'm giving Lavia a skull emoji, purely from the fact that he gave a penalty away, which cost us the clean sheet. I'm giving Kunku an NA as well. To opening Kunku's stats, did he do anything? 6 out of 6 passes, to be fair to him. One shot that I don't remember, but it went wide. What can I say? There's nothing to say. There's nothing to add, in my opinion. So let me see if I'm finding any relevant quotes or something after this, because otherwise I will slowly but surely round this out. Just with a right, brilliant. Chelsea have attempted 600 passes in this match, the highest total in a single match in the Premier League this season. Okay, it was only this season. Now, this is a quote that I quite enjoy. Because Wesley Fofana as well, a little shout out to that guy, because he doesn't have it easy very often. He doesn't have it easy. He gets booed every time at Leicester. Disgraceful bunch of fans. They were singing all game. Why such a C word? But yeah, he said some players only came back yesterday. We played well and we won the game, which is the most important thing. The job is done. We have the 3 points. I love Wesley Fofana. Big up you. But to finish it off with the rating for Enzo Maresca, what am I going to give Enzo Maresca today? I'm going to put him below Palmer because it's just nicely in the middle. Could he have done anything dramatically different with the lineup? No right backs available. He's not allowed to use Josh Achimpong. With Neto not being available, I don't mind him starting Noni, if I'm being honest. I like that he tried something different. I like that he played Enzo in a position where he's sometimes higher, sometimes lower, and not permanently the same. I like that he gave Cucurella this go in the wide areas and not just playing as an inverted centre-back. So in total, I will give Maresca a 7. Because it's not easy to play against a team that knows exactly what you're doing, because he was obviously their former manager. It's not easy to play when you have so many players that just came back from international duty, aren't at full fitness. You're kind of trying to strike a balance of still picking a good team, but still not overplaying the players to get them injured and stuff like that. So I'll give Maresca a 7. The only reason why I'm not... Now, you know what? I'm giving him a 6.5 because, for me, the subs came too late. All I'd like to see more of is Misha, but Maresca is giving us real hope. He deserves our love. Yeah. Now, you know what? We gave all the others that 0.5 high. Let's give Maresca a 0.5 high as well. I would have given him a 7.5 had he made some subs a little bit. It's way too much. But is that how you judge it, though? Is so unless we win 8-0, like we did against Noah, the manager can't get a high rating. Because this is the Premier League. What wins you the Premier League? What gets you top 4 in the Premier League? Winning these tough, tight games against promoted teams away from home. It's not easy. You know what I mean? I get your point. Don't get me wrong, mate. I get where you're coming from with that. I get it. I hear it. I don't know, man. Because I'm like, what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? Is it really his fault? Yeah, 6.57. You've kind of convinced me to the 6.5 again. I can't lie. Sorry, I'm too easily convinced. But I think in the grand scheme of things, he still did good. He coached a win. Should have been a higher win if certain individuals took their chances. Due to injuries and unavailability, he couldn't have changed the team a bit more in positions where he might have done. I think Neto would have started at left wing instead of Madueke, but maybe Neto would have just started instead of Felix. It's also possible. I'm not ruling it out. So yeah, I'll give Maresca a 6.5. And I think I didn't even consider this. That Maresca said Leicester shouldn't have had a red card because that's his ex-team. I'm not sure if that's true. Arsenal are beating Forest. I mean, it's not too shocking, though, is it? Like, yeah. Let's see how the game ends. Let's see how the game ends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to round this one out. And yes, I'm not going to say your name, but I'm just going to call you Jack. Can we witness Buddy Ashill's rebirth? Maybe. Hopefully. And by the way, from 2-0 up, Heidenheim are now 3-2 down at Leverkusen, all in the space of the first half. So that's a bit unfortunate for these lot. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to round it out. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in today. As always, thank you. In the chat, appreciate you. Let me bring up the kind of appreciation from Cuckoo for the away fans. Let's bring up that screen to finish it out. Again, guys, if you haven't already, if you're still here, I appreciate you. Please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done that yet, that would be massively appreciated. Shout out Cucurella, shout out Enzo Fernandez, shout out Nicolas Jackson. They've done fantastically well tonight. And shout out Big Benoit Badiashil. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I say, subscribe, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Of course, check out mine and Pice's podcast, Chelsea Unfiltered. Link is down to our latest episode from last Tuesday. There will be a new episode this coming Tuesday, so make sure you follow us on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts and tune in. Like, you'll enjoy them. I'm very, very sure of it. Of course, get involved. Follow us on the Twitter as well, which is CFC Unfiltered. We do, we ask for questions every week because we do a weekly listener question segment. So follow that account. We tweet that every week, but follow my account because I'll retweet it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards, and I will see you next time.